Hello, my dear friends. Today, I will share with you a story that is simple, heartfelt, and easy for everyone to understand. This is the story of a young boy named Aarav, who found inspiration in the life and words of one of India's most remarkable leaders, Narendra Modi. Through his journey, we will see how dreams, hard work, and determination can shape a person's life. This story isn't just about politics. It's about values, perseverance, and the ability to bring about change in the world. Please sit back and enjoy this reading-friendly narrative that takes you through Aarav's life-changing experiences, guided by his admiration for Narendra Modi's achievements and philosophies. The story begins. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the heart of Gujarat, there lived a young boy named Aarav. Aarav was an inquisitive and curious child, always eager to learn new things. His favorite place in the village was the small library, where he would spend hours reading books. But Aarav's world was modest, his family was not wealthy, and resources were limited. One day, Aarav's teacher handed him a book titled Narendra Modi, The Journey of a Common Man. Aarav, intrigued by the title, began reading it eagerly. The first thing that struck him was how Narendra Modi, too, came from a humble background. Aarav learned that Modi was the son of a tea seller and had faced many hardships during his childhood. As Aarav turned the pages, he was fascinated by stories of how Modi helped his father sell tea at the railway station and how he later dedicated himself to the service of the nation. Aarav felt a strong connection to Modi's journey. He thought, if he could achieve so much starting from nothing, why can't I? A newfound inspiration. From that day onward, Aarav's life began to change. Inspired by Modi's story, Aarav decided he would work hard and make a difference in his village. He realized that education and self-discipline were the keys to success, just as Modi had demonstrated throughout his life. Aarav started waking up early every morning to study before school. He became more disciplined and focused on his goals. But it wasn't just about academics. Aarav also began taking an interest in community work. He started a small project to clean the village streets, inspired by Modi's Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Initially, not many villagers joined him, but Aarav didn't give up. His determination eventually inspired others, and soon the entire village was involved in keeping their surroundings clean. The turning point. One day, Aarav's school organized a debate competition. The topic was, how can we shape India's future? Aarav chose to speak about Narendra Modi's vision for a self-reliant India, or Atmanirbhar Bharat. Standing confidently in front of the audience, Aarav spoke passionately about the importance of hard work, innovation, and unity. His words were simple but powerful, echoing the principles he had learned from Modi's life. When Aarav finished his speech, the room erupted in applause. He won the competition, but more importantly, he won the admiration of his peers and teachers. Aarav realized the power of words and how they could inspire change, just as Modi's speeches had inspired millions across the country. A glimpse of the future. As Aarav grew older, his admiration for Modi's leadership only deepened. He followed Modi's initiatives closely and dreamed of one day meeting the leader who had changed his perspective on life. Years later, Aarav, now a young man, got the opportunity to attend an event where Narendra Modi was speaking. When Modi finished his speech, Aarav mustered the courage to approach him. With a trembling voice, he said, "Sir, your journey has inspired me to believe in myself and work for the betterment of my village. Thank you for showing us that no dream is too big." Modi smiled warmly and said, "The strength of our nation lies in the determination of young people like you. Never stop dreaming and never stop working hard to make those dreams a reality." Conclusion. Aarav returned to his village that day with a renewed sense of purpose. He realized that leadership isn't about holding positions of power. It's about inspiring and uplifting others. Aarav's journey, inspired by Narendra Modi, became a beacon of hope for his village, proving that even the simplest of stories can lead to extraordinary transformations. Let me know if you'd like me to expand on any part of this story or make adjustments. The beginning of a movement. With Modi's encouraging words resonating in his heart, Aarav returned to his village with a new vision. He wanted to create lasting change, not just for himself, but for everyone in his community. The first thing he did was gather the village youth for a meeting under the banyan tree near the school. "Friends," Aarav began, his voice steady and filled with determination, "we all dream of a better future for ourselves and our families. But change doesn't come by dreaming alone. It comes through action. Our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, taught us that no dream is too big if we have the will to achieve it. Let's start by making our village an example for others to follow." The group listened attentively, some nodding in agreement, others unsure of how they could contribute. Aarav's passion was infectious, though, and soon the young men and women of the village pledged to join him in his mission. Transforming the village. Aarav's first initiative was education. He noticed that many children in the village were dropping out of school because their families couldn't afford the fees or because they had to work to support their households. Aarav and his friends organized evening classes for these children, teaching them basic math, reading, and writing. They also spoke to the parents, convincing them of the long-term benefits of education. Aarav's second project focused on sanitation. Inspired by Modi's Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Aarav and his team built simple, low-cost toilets in homes that lacked them. They also conducted cleanliness drives and spread awareness about the importance of hygiene, reducing the incidence of waterborne diseases in the village. The third initiative was about self-reliance. Aarav encouraged the villagers to form self-help groups and taught them basic skills like sewing, crafting, and organic farming. He introduced the concept of local entrepreneurship, inspired by Modi's Make in India campaign. Soon, the village began producing handmade goods that they sold in nearby towns, creating a source of income for many families. Recognition and growth. As Aarav's efforts began to bear fruit, his village gained recognition. A local journalist wrote an article about the remarkable transformation led by Aarav and his team. The story caught the attention of district officials who visited the village to see the progress firsthand. Impressed by what they saw, the officials decided to support Aarav's initiatives by providing additional resources and funding. This allowed Aarav to expand his projects, including building a small community center where villagers could gather for meetings, training sessions, and celebrations. Meeting Modi again. A few years later, Aarav was invited to speak at a youth leadership summit in Delhi. The summit was graced by none other than Narendra Modi himself. When Aarav stepped onto the stage, he couldn't help but feel a rush of emotions. Standing in front of the man who had inspired his journey felt surreal. "Good evening, everyone," Aarav began, addressing the audience. "I come from a small village that once struggled with poverty and lack of opportunities. Today, thanks to the inspiration I drew from our honorable Prime Minister, we have transformed our village into a thriving, self-reliant community. It's a testament to the power of belief, hard work, and unity." When Aarav finished his speech, Modi walked up to him, shaking his hand firmly. "You are the future of our country," Modi said with pride. "Your story shows that the spirit of India lies in its villages, and young leaders like you will take our nation to greater heights." The legacy continues. Aarav returned home as a hero, but he remained humble. He knew his work was far from over. With renewed energy, he continued to inspire and empower others, not just in his village, but in neighboring communities as well. Aarav's journey became a model for grassroots leadership, showing that real change starts from within and grows outward. Years later, when Aarav was asked about his achievements, he would always say, "It all began with a story. A story about a tea seller who became the leader of a nation. That story taught me that no matter where we come from, we all have the power to make a difference." And so, Aarav's life became a story in itself, proving that the ripple effect of inspiration can create waves of transformation that touch countless lives. Let me know if you'd like to add more specific elements or develop any part further. Aarav's expanding vision. After returning from Delhi, Aarav realized that his work in the village was just the beginning. He saw the potential to replicate his model of transformation in other villages across the district. With the support of his friends, Aarav started visiting nearby villages to share his experiences and encourage others to take up the mantle of change. Each visit was a learning experience. Aarav understood that every village had unique challenges, whether it was access to clean water, education, or employment opportunities. Drawing inspiration from Modi's belief in localized solutions, Aarav began tailoring his initiatives to meet the specific needs of each community. For example, in a village where farmers struggled with erratic water supply, Aarav introduced rainwater harvesting techniques and worked with experts to set up a micro-irrigation system. In another village, where women were mostly confined to household chores, he organized workshops on tailoring and handicrafts, enabling them to earn their own income. The power of collective effort. As Aarav's work spread, more people joined his movement. Young men and women from various villages volunteered their time and skills. Together, they formed a network of grassroots leaders who worked tirelessly to uplift their communities. Aarav also began leveraging technology to amplify his efforts. Inspired by Modi's Digital India campaign, he set up digital literacy programs in remote villages, teaching people how to use smartphones and access government schemes online. The initiative empowered villagers to take advantage of opportunities they previously didn't know existed. One of Aarav's most ambitious projects was setting up a cooperative that connected rural artisans with urban markets. The cooperative used e-commerce platforms to sell handmade goods, allowing artisans to earn fair prices for their work. The project became a huge success, and Aarav's cooperative was soon recognized at the state level. Challenges. Along the way, Aarav's journey was not without obstacles. There were times when he faced resistance from those who were skeptical of change or unwilling to break away from age-old practices. There were also financial constraints and bureaucratic hurdles that slowed down his progress. But every time Aarav encountered a challenge, he reminded himself of Narendra Modi's words, "Obstacles are opportunities in disguise." With unwavering determination, Aarav found creative ways to overcome difficulties, whether by crowdfunding for projects, building alliances with NGOs, or simply refusing to give up. Recognition on a national scale. Aarav's work eventually caught the attention of national media. Stories about his transformative efforts began appearing in newspapers and on television. He was invited to speak at conferences and events, where he shared his journey and inspired others to take action in their own communities. One day, Aarav received an invitation to Rashtrapati Bhavan, where he was to be honored with a prestigious national award for community leadership. As he stood on the grand stage, receiving the award from the President of India, Aarav couldn't help but think back to the little boy who had once been inspired by a book about Narendra Modi. A meeting that changed lives. After the award ceremony, Aarav had the opportunity to meet Narendra Modi again, this time in a private setting. Modi greeted him warmly and said, "Aarav, your story is a testament to what India's youth can achieve when they channel their energy into positive action. You've proven that true leadership is about service and dedication." Aarav replied, "Sir, it is your journey that taught me to dream big and work tirelessly for the betterment of others. Your vision has been my guiding light." Modi placed a hand on Aarav's shoulder and said, "Now it's your turn to inspire others. Keep spreading the message of hope and resilience. India needs more leaders like you." The ripple effect. Aarav returned home more determined than ever. He realized that the recognition he had received was not just a personal achievement, but a responsibility. He used the platform he had gained to advocate for policies that supported rural development and youth empowerment. Over the years, Aarav's movement grew into a nationwide initiative, with thousands of young leaders working together to transform their communities. Aarav's story became a symbol of what was possible when ordinary people believed in their ability to create extraordinary change. Legacy of a leader. Decades later, as an elderly Aarav sat in his home, surrounded by books and letters from people whose lives he had touched, he reflected on his journey. The inspiration he had drawn from Narendra Modi had not only shaped his life, but had also created a ripple effect that had changed countless others. He often told his grandchildren, "Remember, no matter where you come from or how small your beginnings are, you can achieve great things if you have the courage to dream and the determination to act." That's the lesson I learned from a tea seller who became the leader of 1 billion people. And so Aarav's story lived on, a timeless reminder that inspiration can spark a movement, and a single story can change the world. Let me know if you'd like further continuation or deeper details about Aarav's projects or personal life. A new chapter, Aarav's Foundation for Change. As Aarav grew older, his vision expanded further. He understood that while grassroots efforts were vital, systemic change required sustained initiatives backed by proper infrastructure. With this in mind, Aarav established a non-profit organization called the Foundation for Change. The foundation aimed to address issues at the national level, focusing on education, rural development, environmental sustainability, and youth leadership. Aarav collaborated with educators, environmentalists, and policymakers to create programs that could be scaled across India. One of the foundation's flagship initiatives was Teach for Tomorrow, a program designed to train young professionals to teach in rural schools. This initiative not only improved the quality of education in underprivileged areas, but also bridged the gap between urban and rural India. Another project, Green Futures, focused on environmental conservation. Inspired by Modi's commitment to renewable energy, Aarav's team worked to install solar panels in villages, providing electricity to areas that had never seen a light bulb. They also conducted tree plantation drives and promoted water conservation techniques, ensuring that villages became more sustainable. The global stage Aarav's work soon gained international recognition. He was invited to speak at global forums like the United Nations and the World Economic Forum, where he shared insights from his journey and advocated for global collaboration in tackling issues like poverty and climate change. During one such event, Aarav met world leaders and shared his belief that India's progress depended on empowering its villages. His speech resonated with the audience, earning him a standing ovation. Aarav's foundation began receiving international support, which allowed him to expand his initiatives even further. The visit of a lifetime. Years later, Aarav received an invitation to accompany Narendra Modi on a visit to Gujarat, the very state where their journeys had begun. The occasion was a celebration of rural development projects inspired by Aarav's model. As they toured the transformed villages, Modi turned to Aarav and said, "This is your legacy, Aarav. You have shown the world what true leadership looks like." Aarav replied humbly, "Sir, it was your story that gave me the courage to begin. The real heroes are the people of these villages who believed in the power of change." Aarav's final mission. Even as he approached the twilight of his life, Aarav's work did not slow down. He dedicated himself to mentoring the next generation of leaders. Through workshops, seminars, and personal interactions, he inspired countless young people to take up the mantle of leadership. Aarav also wrote a book, The Ripple Effect: How One Story Can Change the World, where he chronicled his journey and the lessons he had learned along the way. The book became a bestseller, touching hearts across the globe and proving that stories of hope and determination could inspire action on an unprecedented scale. A lifetime of service. In his later years, Aarav continued to receive accolades for his contributions, but what mattered most to him was the enduring impact of his work. Villages across India had been transformed, and a new generation of leaders was rising, ready to carry forward his vision. One quiet evening, as Aarav sat on the porch of his modest home, looking out at the setting sun, he felt a deep sense of contentment. He knew that his journey, inspired by Narendra Modi, had come full circle. With a smile, he whispered to himself, "One story, one spark. That's all it takes." And so Aarav's legacy lived on, a testament to the power of inspiration, determination, and the belief that even the smallest beginnings can lead to the greatest transformations. Let me know if you'd like me to delve further into any specific aspects of the story.